We got work to do.
Welcome to How Would Hell, a supernatural podcast. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Christine.
And this week, we're taking a look at Season 4, Episode 4, Metamorphosis. And this is the one where a hunter named Travis points Sam and Dean towards a meat-eating creature called a rougarou. Complicating matters is the fact that Travis's target is a normal suburban dad in the earlier process of changing, and he hasn't killed anyone yet.
Interesting description.
Yeah, because it gives it away to us. Just a normal guy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I had always liked this episode, but I kind of felt like it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's interesting because I thought there were parts of it that were super gross. Like, I really couldn't take any of the scenes of him eating. Like, I just couldn't look at the TV.
Yeah.
It's so gross to me. But other than that, I got a lot more out of it than I thought I was going to.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think I always really liked the gross body horror of it. Like that aspect of it, especially when like everything's falling off of him.
Yeah.
And he's like cracking and stuff. And I think I said that this movie reminded me of Stephen King's Thinner. But really it's just like the last scene of Thinner that it reminds me of. Like not any much more of it. Well, because that's kind of a body horror film also. So maybe that's why, if you haven't seen it, it's like
just has the same vibe.
Yeah, it's like this overweight guy who's a lawyer and an asshole. He accidentally he does like a hit and run on a gypsy. And of course, as gypsies do, they
You're
put
fucked.
a curse on him.
Yeah.
Yes. And then he starts to lose weight at a very rapid pace until he's like a skeleton, essentially.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a weird curse.
Yeah. It's a really interesting movie.
Huh. Well, yeah. I thought it was super disgusting.
Yeah. But you were able to, I guess, because the whole deal is like this Travis guy, he hasn't done anything wrong. There's something dark
you mean the Jack
inside
guy,
of
right?
him. Yes. I'm sorry, Jack. There's something dark inside of him, kind of like somebody else we know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that was really good. I liked the comparison there. And I think the acting was really good. I liked the way that it was directed. I don't know if you have like any notes or thoughts about all of that, but I think that's what I liked a lot. It created a really effective story and it seemed natural.
Yes, I really liked how it was directed also. It was interestingly that it was written by Kim Manners, so it wasn't directed by him. It was written by him. Wait, that seems odd. I may have written that down wrong. Let's
just double check.
Double check.
Oh, I think I have it up on here. Hang on. It says, directed by Kim Manners, written by Catherine Humphris.
Okay, I was like, oh, they switched places. Okay, my bad. So Kim Manners directed, which, okay, of course, he's amazing. And Catherine Humphris wrote it. The last time we saw her was in Dream a Little Dream of Me. So that was a pretty great episode as well.
Yeah, okay. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, then that explains a lot.
Yeah. And I was sad to see that we meet another hunter, Travis. And again, it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I was so sad. I was really upset.
Like every time we meet hunters, they're either dying or they're like evil in some way or like assholes.
Or you'd end up hating them.
Yes. What the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah. And I was so, kind of like excited because at first they were just talking about this Travis guy, and I was like, who's Travis? But then they meet him, and he was so sweet and just seemed like such a cool guy and really cared about them. And whatever. I don't know.
I
I
know.
was so sad.
He just ended up having like Gordon ethics, essentially.
A little bit. I kind of still sympathized with him more. I mean, no, I don't think he went about it the right way with the wife, Michelle. But
Yeah.
his methods were not good. But I understood where he was coming from just because he'd seen it before and really struggled and felt bad about everything and the way that it had gone and didn't want it to happen again. And hunters are put in difficult positions, right? Why are they often like the people who have to decide what's right and what's wrong? Like they're put in positions where they have to like make these morality calls all the time.
Yeah, that's
And
absolutely true.
it's tough, this guy's old, he's been doing it for a long time. Like I can just see how it starts to all get jumbled.
Yeah. And in the end, he kind of was right, you know?
Unfortunately. I mean, it makes you wonder a little bit like if Jack would have turned or gone and done that if Travis hadn't intervened. But
Hmm.
but I don't know. Maybe it still would have gone that way eventually, but who knows?
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Mhm.
Well, the only production info that I have for this episode is one, that Sam is now able to exorcise demons by using his special abilities, which actually happened really in the first episode, but I guess we're like really seeing it here in
Yeah, and
full.
a couple thoughts about that. Like he can do it without killing the host body, which was a really big
Yes.
deal that he couldn't do before.
Hmm.
And or at least we didn't see before. And that also he told Dean that he could send demons back to hell.
Yeah, so it says here that unlike the Colt and Ruby's knife, this sends them back to hell like an exorcism. So
What?
it's not, it's really functioning like an exorcism, like as if they're in season 1 sitting them down and reading
Mhm.
from the book,
Mhm.
the Bible, I think it is, and reading this exercise, right? But it doesn't. So what happens when the Colt and like Ruby's knife, it kills them?
Yeah, it kills the host body. And I think it probably kills the demon, right?
I'm That's what I'm assuming. Yes, because then we wouldn't be worried about the yellow-eyed demon coming back.
Right. Right. Okay.
So, it's not as powerful as that, right? But it's still pretty nifty.
Yeah, I'd say so.
This is also the first episode where Castiel is referred to as Cass.
Yeah, I was gonna bring
Um,
that up, and now,
which is
so for anyone who either doesn't or isn't able to listen to our recording that we're gonna put up on the Patreon about fan art.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, it's up already.
okay, so Kristen introduced me to the concept of Destiel. And after hearing about that, he called him Cass, and I was like, wow, y'all are a little friendly. Like,
You
I don't
guys
know
are
if I'm
getting a
just
little
picking.
intimate.
I don't know if I'm just like picking up on it more because I know that that's like a thing. But oh man,
It's definitely like in its beginnings. Their relationship is definitely in the beginning stages, but I think
they're
you'll
still
see
getting to
a
know
little
each
bit
other.
more hinting. Yeah. No, they are. But I'm glad it finally came where he referred to him as Cass, because I know I've been referring to him as Cass, and you're probably like, why are you calling what who do you think you are calling him by nickname?
Yeah, y'all are really buddy buddy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um
that's funny.
But okay, so Christine, we didn't get to watch the season 3 gag reel
No.
before. Like I had totally forgotten, and thankfully a patron on our Patreon reminded us, "Hey guys, like you haven't done this yet," and I was
We
like,
were like,
"Oh
oh
my
shit.
Yes, that's right. I totally forgot.
And it's fun.
I know it
We
is
won it.
fun.
We even talked about it a while back, and then just the time came and we completely forgot.
Well, that was really great. We'll put that up on Patreon. Um, so before we get into the episode, though, I know we had a song in the background
Yeah.
at one point, but
Yeah.
we're not. Yeah,
It was like, so I just didn't think there were any songs at all. But thank you, Supernatural Wiki, for identifying the single song of the episode. It was playing in the background when Jack was in the bar, and it's called Philip's Theme by Hound Dog Taylor and the House Rockers. So there's our honorable mention.
yeah.
I'm
Thank
not going
you.
to play it for y'all because I couldn't even hear it. I didn't even know that there was a song.
I didn't realize either. So it was probably just like for mood in the bar, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, totally. I listened to part of it and it's just kind of like it's a little bit bluesy, rocky, just like good background music.
Good. Great.
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
All right. Thanks for that. So, man, some heavy shit was about to go down at the end of the last episode. We had a to be continued, which have we ever had that besides maybe in a season finale?
No, I think that's probably, I don't know. That might be the only time we've had it outside of a season finale. I can't recall.
Yeah. So the recap shows that Dean met young mom, found out she's a hunter, and met his grandparents. The yellow-eyed demon made a deal with Mary to bring John back to life. So fucking John had died. And that is why Mary made a deal. Well, we didn't even know about this deal, but she made a deal with the yellow-eyed demon to bring him back to life, that one day he'd come and she wouldn't be able to stop him. Poor little Sam.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mary's fault? Question mark? That this happened to
Kinda.
Sam? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we could still blame the yellow-eyed demon because he's the one
Yeah, he's the
who,
bad guy.
yeah, he's a bad guy. And he like talked her into it, not knowing what she was getting into and all that. But yes, essentially.
Oh man. And Sam has been using his freaky ESP stuff to exorcise demons, which Dean has not figured out yet, but of course, he's going to find out right now. Castiel is about to take Dean to show him what Sam has been up to and warn him that if he doesn't stop him, then the angels will. So we had a lot of heavy stuff going on.
Yeah.
So we start the episode with a demon tied underneath a pentagram. He's like tied to a chair, and Sam asks him, "Where's Lilith?" And the demon's just like, kiss my ass, you know. And Sam's like, "I'd watch myself if I were you." So he's like really in his element now. Like he is not scared at all of these demons because he knows what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
The demon asks why, because you're Sam Winchester, Mr. Big Hero, and yet here you are slutting around with some demon.
What? That, I feel
Yeah.
like that comment alone, like Mr. Big Hero.
Mr. Big Hero.
And it's not good that he's like in cahoots with Ruby. I don't know. It was just very strange already.
Yeah, it's also kind of shifted the tone of how they refer to him from the boy king to
Yeah.
Mr. Big Hero. You know, like he was supposed to be the leader of the demon army, and now he's a good guy, you know, to them. And Sam doesn't really like the last part, the slutting around with the demon part.
Yeah.
He gets really pissed when he says that. And then the demon says, "Tell me all about those months without your brother and everything you and this demon do in the dark."
Yeah. Tell me. Tell me.
Yeah, you tell me. You tell us, okay?
I want to know.
I know, but it's interesting. What does the demon know? Did the demon see? Was he watching like little peeping Tom? Or
I don't know.
I don't know. Or maybe he can just, I don't know, sense it or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Who
don't
knows?
know. Or like, I feel like it's weird because it's like if one demon knows something, then they all know.
That's how it feels.
They talk a
Yeah,
lot.
I
Like they're
guess.
real shit talkers.
Or is it like in Twilight with the werewolves, like they just hear each other's thoughts and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe. So then Sam uses his powers to exorcise the demon. And we see the smoke from the demon flow out of him, out of the human body, and it disappears into the floor. So it's essentially going into hell. And behind, Dean has been watching this entire thing, and we get the credits.
Ugh. So it's interesting how they just set up the scene like right away where he's watching. Like, I don't know how he got there or where they are or what's happening, but I guess it doesn't really matter because ultimately, it just is showing Dean seeing this for
Finding
the
out.
first time. Yeah.
Yeah, I know at the end of the last episode, Cass was like, I'm gonna take you there. I'm gonna take you to where Sam is now.
Okay, thank you for making that connection because that's right at the very end. He like tells him the address, right? So it's just like picking up right away.
Yes.
Okay, I'm good.
So after the credits, Sam checks if the human is alive, and he is, but he's pretty weak. Ruby asks how that felt, and Sam said, "Good, no more headaches," which is interesting that
What?
he was getting headaches.
Yeah,
But the last time, did I make this up in my mind? Did he get a bloody nose the last time he did this?
I don't know. Maybe.
Episode 1. Maybe I'm making that up. I don't remember.
I don't either.
Um but he helps the guy up, and then Dean walks in and he's like, "Anything you want to tell me, Sam?" Sounds like my dad. Like after I've come home and I haven't done something
Anything
bad.
you want to tell me?
Yep. And Sam's just taken aback, and Dean says, "Why don't you start with who she is and what the hell she's doing here?" And then Ruby kind of saunters up and is like, "Good to see you, Dean." And he immediately knows, Ruby?
Yeah.
And he just knows right away. And then Dean goes to attack her and he pulls the demon blade on her. Then Sam jumps in, grabs the knife out of his hand, but Dean knocks him into the wall. And then Ruby grabs Dean by the throat, but Sam tells her to stop, and she does. So she, listens to
Yeah.
him.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was interesting that Dean was ready to kill her like immediately.
Yeah, like without any sort of explanation.
Yeah.
He was just like, but
I'm gonna
even
kill
though
you.
she wasn't evil,
Right.
we didn't see her do anything bad the last time he had seen her. So Sam asks Ruby to take the human out, to take him to the ER, and she does. But Sam doesn't have a chance to really talk to Dean because he just walks out without saying anything. So he's just so pissed. And in the morning, Sam is in the motel room. He's reading. I guess he's been waiting for Dean to show up. Dean walks in and starts packing. So I don't know where he was.
Yeah.
I assume just driving around, kind of contemplating life, brooding a little bit. And he says, "You don't need me. You and Ruby go fight demons." So he's kind of like pulling this little like jealousy thing act, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Like we're supposed to be the ones to fight demons together,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
But
you
it was
have
also
her.
like, oh damn. That's true. Y'all need to get back into the groove of doing this together.
Yeah, yeah. So he's probably feeling like, oh, I was dead and you've kind of filled my space
Right.
with her.
He
So
jealous.
Sam tells him to wait. And then Dean punches Sam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Sam's like, "You satisfied?" And then Dean punches Sam again. And it's like, what? Why are you punching
I know,
him?
poor baby.
No. I know. But he's just taking the punches like nothing. I mean, he is like 100 times bigger than him, so.
Right, right. That's true.
So
He is
he's
a
probably
giant.
fine.
And I
Yeah.
was also thinking, like, okay, fine. Get it out. Sam did lie to you about something really big.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fair that you're pissed.
Yeah.
Just get it out.
Yep. And he does. But then he starts yelling again. He's like, "Do you even know how far off the reservation you've gone? How far from normal human?" Which is so interesting that he like honed in on that because that was what Sam was worried about, in
Yeah.
season 2.
Hmm.
And what Dean kept on like making references to, like big old freak and this and that. So
I would like to say that in this scene, I really like Sam's shirt. He's worn this shirt before. It's like
I
a
don't
kind of
remember
like
it.
it's like it looks like some kind of like Indian textile or something. And it's got this like pattern on it that's just very like bohemian, and it's like a tunic. Like it's got like an open top that only goes like a third of the way down the shirt or something.
Okay, it's not his paisley shirt, right?
No,
Because
it
we've
kind
seen
of
that
looks a little
before.
paisley, but this one's like it's definitely a tunic.
Okay, I think we need to get a screenshot of that because that sounds very interesting.
I really enjoyed it.
Weird.
Yeah, he's such a hippie.
Yeah. That also just feels like very Texas hippie, like Matthew McConaughey ish,
Yeah, it is a
you
bit.
know?
I'm gonna find you a picture of
Great.
this.
Um, so Sam explains he can just send these demons back to hell, exorcise them with his mind. And he's saving people. That's what's important here is that he's saving these people. The knife kills the victim. So why is Dean arguing let's just use the knife? Most of them survive, the ones that he exercises. And however, Dean thinks that Ruby is going to be teaching Sam to use his powers and eventually go down a darker path than he is right now. And Sam says no, he won't let it go too far, but Dean thinks it's already gone too far, which I don't, I guess just based on, oh.
You get the shirt pick?
Yes, I just got the shirt pick. I see what you're saying there. You're
Like it
right.
doesn't even open all the way down. It's just a.
This looks like a shirt that I would own.
I know. I was like, I would wear that.
I dig
Love
it
it.
though.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a good look.
Anyway, sorry to distract you.
No, no, no. Um, but yeah, he thinks it's already gone too far, and he says, if I didn't know you, I would want to hunt you.
That is such a huge line.
Yeah.
That is major because
And
it's got to cut deep.
it does for both of them because both of them get misty eyes at
They
this
start
point.
basically crying.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Sam says, "You were gone. I was here. I had to keep fighting without you."
Oh. He's
So
like, how do I
basically,
do
like,
that?
yeah, that's the only way I could see doing it by myself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Dean kind of explains, like, well, Cass said that the angels will want to stop you.
Mm-hmm.
And that God obviously doesn't want you doing this based on that. And that makes Sam, I think, he looks a lot more hurt after that.
Yeah, it kind of shakes him a little bit.
Yeah. Because we know he was on board with this whole God thing. He believed it right away.
Mm-hmm.
So and he in the previous 2 episodes ago now, because we were, in a time traveling last episode, but he tells Dean, like, hey, if God wants you to do this, if this is your path, then you should follow it. Then it's for you. So for Dean to tell him now, oh, okay, God doesn't want you to do what you're doing, like, it's really meaningful to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he almost looks like he's about to let some tears fall, but then he takes a phone call right at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's from Travis. So they are traveling to Carthage, Missouri, all of a sudden, looking for a Jack Montgomery, who this Travis person told them about. And we cut to Carthage, and we see this man in a very nice house. He's eating ravenously, It's really gross.
It's so gross.
Um, and his wife is just like staring at him. She's like, Jack, are you stoned? He's like, no. And he asks for more food, but grabs her steak off her plate.
Yeah.
I'm
She's
sorry.
like, you've already had two steaks.
Yeah. My husband would not be allowed to grab the steak off my plate. No, sorry. That is mine. I would eat it.
Yeah. When he says, hey, are you going to eat the rest of that? I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, I am. I was going to eat the other steak too that you ate.
Yeah. Back off.
So he says he's just hungry or maybe a tapeworm, as she suggests. So in the bathroom, though, I like this scene a lot. He's brushing his teeth, and then all of a sudden, his spine starts cracking, and we see it like popping out of his back. It's so disgusting.
You would like this scene.
It was just so cool. But he's just like in a lot of pain, and he's obviously morphing into something, as the title suggests. But we cut to Dean and Sam. They're on their way to Carthage, and Dean is telling Sam all about the time traveling, and namely that Mom was a hunter. And so
cool.
Sam's
I was
like,
waiting for them to talk about it.
Yeah, and Sam's so excited to hear this information. I mean, both of them just never thought that John wouldn't have, I don't know.
Yeah,
that
it
the
just
hunter
seemed like it was
thing
always
wouldn't
him.
become from him.
Totally.
Yeah. So Sam's also like, oh, our parents, now our grandparents, he's just eating up all the information. And he's like, so all of that happened so the yellow-eyed demon can bleed into my mouth. And then this is weird.
Yeah.
And I have some questions. Dean's like, how did you know about the demon blood? You knew? You knew about that? And Sam's like, yeah, for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
So Sam hadn't told Dean?
No, I think, because I remember this, wasn't there an episode where Sam had a flashback or something with the yellow-eyed demon and he had a vision and he was shown what happened and he didn't tell Dean?
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
Why wouldn't he tell Dean?
I remember that happening because I was like, okay, you can keep that to yourself, but it's going to come back to bite you.
Yeah, I want to say that was either, I don't know. That had to be like the season 2 finale or like the episode before or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And this was interesting too because it's just this is how lies come out, right? Like you can't keep track of them all, and once a lot of time passes, you forget that you haven't told this person what the lie, about the lie.
Yeah.
And it reminded me, I'm going to liken it to Harry Potter as usual. That part in Prisoner of Azkaban, I'm sorry, Goblet of Fire, where it's the very end and Professor Moody, who's actually not Professor Moody, takes Harry to his office and he's questioning him. Yeah. And he's like, and he says something about the graveyard. Moody asks him about the graveyard and Harry's like, I didn't say anything about a graveyard, Professor.
And he's like,
oh, shit!
Well, the flicking of the tongue doesn't happen in the book. But
no, but that's how you know. Yeah.
So yeah. But no, exactly. It just comes out because he doesn't realize.
Right.
And that pisses Dean off all over again because that's another thing that Sam catch from him.
Yep. Ugh, which sucks. It's like, okay, well, see, Sam, you're not trustworthy. How can I, believe anything that you tell me?
Whatever.
Like, well,
Dean's keeping right at this moment. Dean is keeping the fact that he remembers hell.
Yeah, for sure.
So
no, I know. I was kind of hoping that all the lies would come out. I was like, yes, let's just get it all out, guys. You got to get back on the same page. Dean's back. Yes. You're figuring out Sam's powers. Like, you got to get back on the same hunting page. And it has to turn back into them against the world, instead of like keeping things from each other. That doesn't work.
Yeah. Instead of them against each other.
Yeah.
So Sam and Dean finally get to Carthage, and they're outside of some guy's house, or the guy's house, Jack's house. They're staking him out. They say that Travis, whoever Travis is, because we haven't really been introduced to him yet,
No.
said to keep an eye out for something weird. We see Jack again. He's in the kitchen. He's starving once more. And his wife says food's almost ready, but he can't wait. And he grabs some leftover chicken and eats that. And then he reaches back inside the fridge and grabs some raw meat and starts eating it.
It's ground beef. I cannot fucking stand this. I was like, huh? Avert my eyes. Okay,
Yeah.
he's still eating. Yeah, still eating. Okay.
I know.
I
It was really gross.
take it.
And it's not like it's, beef tartare,
No.
made up like in France or something. It's just raw meat.
It's just a fucking styrofoam container of ground beef.
Oh, I hate those styrofoam containers too. It gross me out.
Yeah, it's nasty.
So Sam and Dean are like, okay, well, we found our weird thing.
They're like, oh, yep, that's weird.
So they get back to their motel room in Carthage, and Travis is waiting inside, drinking their beer. He says it's been 10 years since he's seen them. He's a much older guy. I would say maybe around Bobby's age. And we can, immediately kind of tell that he's a hunter just based on the way he's dressed, the way he's like creeping inside of their motel room.
Yeah.
And drinking beer. And then he says, the last time he saw them, Sam was a mathlete.
Of course he was.
So yes. And he's asking for help because he has a broken arm, so he can't do the job the way he would like to. So this Jack Montgomery guy, the guy that they were looking at, Travis explains he's a Rougarou.
I was like, pardon?
A
woo. A goo. What?
Let me see. I didn't look it up before, but I'm looking it up now.
Oh, yeah,
in Supernatural Wiki, it's spelled Rugaru, Rougarou, but it can also be spelled as like the French way, I guess. So Rougarou, and that's what comes up on Wikipedia. And it says here that it's a legendary creature in Laurentian French communities linked to European notions of the werewolf.
Interesting. In Laurent.
Yeah. That. And
I was looking at the Supernatural Wiki page, but I'm going to look at the Wikipedia page. Anyway, carry on.
Oh no, yeah, I'm just kind of like going
that's probably
through it.
Like more detailed or something.
I think it's just interesting that that there's like a French variety of the werewolf, That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
It's a part of legend, and it also has been spread to other generations, mainly to French settlers of Louisiana, which is really fascinating. So that's good to know because Supernatural it's an American show, and usually we deal with these, what do you call them, folk tales and legends and stuff that are American. So maybe that's where this comes in. But it's most
so
often
awesome.
described as a creature, with a human body and the head of a wolf or dog, similar to the werewolf legend. And there's this blood-sucking legend that says that the Rougarou is under the spell for 101 days. After that time, the curse is transferred from person to person when the Rougarou draws another human's blood. Weird.
I like it. This description of, in the Cajun legends, the creature is said to prowl the swamps around Acadiana and Greater New Orleans and the sugarcane fields and woodlands of the regions. That's so awesome.
I would have really liked. Why are we in Carthage, Missouri? Like, I would have really liked if we were in Louisiana. Yeah. That would have been fun.
Mm-hmm. And it's like out in the swamps.
Yeah. That would have been cool.
Yep.
Ooh. Okay, so in popular culture, there is like this whole lengthy thing about supernatural. It says that it season 9, episode 7, Supernatural reveals that in 1995, John Winchester hunted rougarous in upstate New York's Catskill Mountains.
Hmm.
And at the beginning of season 6, episode 10, Sam and Dean are seen. Okay, that's a spoiler. But we see rougarous there as well. And then it says that J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter universe includes wands that contain rougarou hair as their magical core.
Huh.
So I wonder if that's part of like the American um information that came out, like Wizards in America.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Maybe. Yeah,
It's
if that's
very
like one of the
interesting though.
ones that's more like American made.
Yeah. So
Cool.
very cool. But Sam and Dean are like, what are you talking about? This guy didn't have rotted teeth. He's not ugly, in any sort of weird way.
Yeah, pretty normal.
Um, yeah. And Travis is like, well, they go through this metamorphosis. And he's like detailing all of this information about the rougarou while we're seeing Montgomery or Jack looking in the fridge again. His wife cuts her hand and he smells it. And then, Travis explains they're hungry for human flesh. And once they have it, they transform. Eyes, skin, teeth all turn. And apparently it runs in the family. So his dad was a rougarou who he killed in 1978.
That's
So really
bonkers. I
interesting.
really liked
Yeah.
the scene because of the way that they went back and forth between him describing it. I always like those kind of scenes where there's like almost a narrator of this other thing happening somewhere else,
Yes.
and they go back and
It
forth
just
between.
it keeps it active, It's
Hmm.
like it's moving along the story plot without having to like sit through all this exposition as we usually do.
Yeah.
So we next see Jack drinking at a bar. This is right after, he's like smelled his wife's blood and he totally
Ooh.
freaked out and took off. He sees a man harassing a girl at the bar and calls him out. And he specifically calls him a
Aw.
fat, sweaty dick, which is
This
really
is
sweet.
like, yeah, and if I could like talk about it for a second, I was actually like sad watching this scene because I felt like this guy Jack is a good guy. Like he has this wife who he really loves. He's like really struggling with himself, so he goes out to a bar, but he still like defends this woman who's being put in a weird position. And he's just
Mhm.
obviously he's a good dude. And he's
Yeah,
just going through a really awful
terrible
experience.
thing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I felt for
Yeah,
him.
and I do wonder if that's the reason why we added the scene, right? So that we could see, oh, he is a good guy. He can
More of
be,
that, yeah.
yes. So the man harassing the girl goes in to punch Jack, but Jack stops his fist with one hand and then breaks his hand like nothing.
Oh, he like
Oof.
crushes it.
It's
It is
disgusting, but
disgusting.
really cool. Um, so then we see Dean and Travis in the motel room, and they look like they're working on some explosives. Sam comes in. He apparently did some homework on Rougarou, and then Dean explains Sam loves his research. He keeps it under his mattress with his KY.
It was kind of an awkward moment when Travis was like, what I said isn't good enough for you? He was like,
Oh yeah,
sorry.
I did skip over that.
It was weird. It was an
He
awkward.
it was an awkward point because if Bobby, had told Sam and Dean some research and then Sam would have done some more research, he wouldn't have acted like that. He would have been like, "Oh, that's good of you. I've taught you well. You're doing
Right.
your research."
Like, yeah, oh, good job. You found something.
Yes. So that just goes to show you what kind of hunter Travis is right away. So Sam said that he found some interesting stories about people who have those Rougarou genes. Apparently, if they never eat human flesh, they never transform. So all they have to do is eat a lot of raw meat, but not human meat. He's a little bit skeptical. He says that every Rougarou he ever encountered took that bite. And Sam's like, we're not going to kill him unless he does something to get killed. And Travis gets super pissed. But then Sam is the one that like walks out because he's just like obviously dealing with something.
Yeah, he says that and then he's like kind of like shaking. And
Mm-hmm.
he just has to like exit the room cuz he's like he seems emotionally invested in it.
Yes. And Travis asks, "What's wrong with your brother?" And Dean's like, "Don't get me started."
Awkward.
So we see Jack sneaks up on his wife, and which don't do that. It's so creepy.
Of course you're going to scare the shit out of me, dude.
Yeah. And she's like super pissed at him because she had to go to the hospital
By
for her
herself.
cut. Yes, by herself. And he says that he just got really freaked out from the blood. He got dizzy and he apologizes. And he starts, oh, I hate this part. He starts kissing her,
Mhm.
but like really hard and grabs her really hard. And she yells at him to stop, but he won't stop.
Ugh.
And then he finally does.
And
And
then
he
looks like,
apologizes.
yeah, and he looks like shocked at himself. Like he seems so
Yes.
upset.
Yes. He's super upset and she asks what's wrong with him and he says he doesn't know. That was really hard to watch. I
Yeah,
just
absolutely. It was
yeah.
really hard to watch. I mean, any scene like that where there's like, it gets to be rapey
Yeah.
is already really difficult. But, on top of that, it's like because this guy's like, he's not choosing to be that way.
Yeah. He's
And
really he's really
he's
trying
disturbed
to
by it
fight
too.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm. So Sam and Dean are on their way to see Jack, and Dean says that Sam needs to get ready in case they have to kill him. Sam's like, "What the fuck is this about?" And Dean says that maybe Sam is feeling a little lenient towards Jack because he's got something evil inside of him and connects with that. So he's just calling it like he sees it, you know?
And I think that's true.
Yeah,
He's
it's
absolutely right.
absolutely true.
Hmm.
Um And Sam tells him to stop the car or he will. And Dean slows down. He stops. Sam gets out and just starts yelling at Dean. "You want to know why I've been lying to you? Because of crap like this." And Dean's like what? He says, "The way you talk to me, look at me like a freak. Like I don't know the difference between right and wrong." And Dean's like, "Do you know the difference?" And Sam's like, "You have no idea what I'm going through. I have demon blood in me. This disease, I'm a whole new level of freak, trying to take this curse and make something good out of it because I have to."
Ugh, I totally get that. Like, because Sam's such a good person. Like, he hates feeling like when he felt like he was being used as a tool, as one of the special children for something bad. Like, he just felt dirty and like wanted to die. And,
Mhm.
so he's just like really trying to find a way to make this a positive thing.
Yes. And fuck Dean for thinking like that Sam isn't a good person,
Right.
like and acting as if he would do something bad. He should know better. He should know Dean or know Sam much better than that.
Yeah, that whatever he's
So,
doing is coming from a good place. Like maybe it's not the way that he should be going about it, but none of it's malicious or careless or whatever.
yeah, no. And I think Sam saying that he's just trying to make something good out of something bad really resonates with Dean.
Hmm.
Because he kind of calms down at that point and he's like, "Let's just go talk to Jack." So they get to Jack's home and Sam and Dean just walk into the backyard. They introduce themselves and say they're there to help. And we see, like they explain, have bones been moving under your skin? Has your appetite reached hungry hippo level? And he's like, how'd you know that, And they explain the Rougarou stuff to him. His real father passed it on to him. And they say, "You're only going to get hungrier for Man Burger Helper."
Oh my god.
Which I like that. I like that little
Yeah, that was pretty
line.
good. I really liked
and
this scene too because they're like kind of ambushing him together, and like Dean's like, "Okay, fine, we can do it your way."
yeah. Yeah. Dean kind of reluctantly, but he does do that. He's giving him an out. And Sam, I think, is the one where it's like, he's like, you've got to say no, or you feed once and it's all over, and then we'll have to stop you. And he asks my dad, did someone stop him? And they just say yes. And he gets pissed at that. Like he
Yeah.
yells at them to get out after that. Um, but I mean, yeah, like this guy, he's, even though this weird stuff has been happening to him, I guess we don't really know how long it's been happening to him, but he's just, he's a normal guy, and all of a sudden they're coming up to him and saying like, we might kill you.
Right. Right. And they're talking some crazy shit. And I could see how he would like Jack would still be like in denial about it. Like he knows something's happening and it's freaking him out, but he just doesn't want to believe it. And he's like trying to fight it, and I don't know.
Yeah. So a little bit of time passes, and we see Jack listening to voicemails from his wife. He looks worried. He looks like maybe he's out in a park around town. Um, and then he's like on the street where the girl from the bar lives, and he's watching her
Yeah.
inside of her apartment, which is really gross. Um, and then all of a sudden he starts climbing the fire escape. But thankfully, Sam and Dean have been watching him the entire time, and they grab their torch blowers and they follow after him. So we see Jack, he's at the level of the apartment now, and he's like peeping in, watching the girl change, which is totally wrong.
Yep.
She turns off the light, and then all he can see is his reflection, and his eyes are like red and like bloodshot, and just
Ugh.
they don't look like his eyes, they look like a monster is looking at him. And he freaks out at that and leaves. But at that moment, Sam and Dean bust into the girl's apartment and she screams. And Dean's reaction is so funny. He's like, we're here to save you, I guess. And then
they leave. They're like, sorry.
Sam's like, yeah, we should go.
That was awesome.
So, yeah, it was hilarious. So meanwhile, Jack, he gets back home and Travis is there. Travis has tied up his wife and he knocks him out with chloroform. Ugh. So, yeah, Travis has gone off the deep end.
Yes.
And even with a broken arm, he's able to do all this. So, why the fuck did you need Sam and Dean? So he ties up Jack, and once he wakes, he reveals that he's with Sam and Dean. Travis tries to explain that he hasn't fed, or rather, Jack tries to explain that he hasn't fed, and Travis tells Jack to explain that to his wife because she's like, "What's going on? What do you mean you haven't fed? What are you talking about?" Jack's like, pleading with Travis, like, just let go of my wife. She doesn't have any part of this. This is all me here. And he says his wife is a part of it. And he tells her to tell Jack what she told him when he got there. And she says, don't hurt me because I'm pregnant.
This is so hard, but it's one of the reasons I loved this episode because they did drama between people really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's not just about the supernatural. It's about bringing in the people that you love and how they're all affected by whatever's happening. And it's just, it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting that we're not seeing just another monster who has been spawned off of, I mean, he's spawned off of another monster, but like he's not living in the woods or like coming out at night only. Like he's just a regular guy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really interesting to see like how the supernatural is affecting himself as just as a human and how he's dealing with it.
Mm-hmm. And that
Um
he's still such a good guy. Like, while all this is happening, he's pleading with him, if you're going to kill somebody, just kill me. Don't kill my wife. Like, he's still protecting her. And,
yeah. And
ugh.
meanwhile, Travis is the one kind of that's a total monster because he says, I won't make this mistake all over again. And he's like, I won't be around another 30 years. So I can't just wait. So he takes out a gasoline can and starts spreading it all around, like around Jack, around the wife.
Ugh.
It's horrible. It's horrible. And that's when Jack starts pleading, kill me, don't kill my wife. He starts struggling against the handcuffs and taps into his super strength and is able to break free. He attacks Travis and, they kind of like roll around. Travis breaks his arm again through his cast.
Ugh.
And
He just like
finally,
snaps
Jack,
his arm with his cast.
it's gross. And Jack gets on top of him and then bites into Travis's neck and then just starts like
Ugh.
eating him. It's disgusting. And his poor wife, just like freaking out, just imagine like
Oh, no.
seeing
No.
your
No.
loved one just like start eating someone.
I was watching this with John, and he was laughing at me because the whole time this was happening, I was like, ah! No.
It's so gross. Um,
It's just too much. It's too much.
and he gets up and he starts like going toward his wife, but she's like yelling like, no, no, don't come near me. And he breaks the restraints off of her. And obviously he still loves her, and he's
Yeah.
like letting her go, but she doesn't see that. She's just like, stay away from me. And then she takes off.
Yeah. But he's able
So
to stay away
sad.
from her. He just breaks her free and lets her go. And it was really
Yeah,
sad. It was really sad.
it is really sad. Um, and we see that his like face at that point is all like contorted. So I guess that's what a Rougarou is supposed to look like. It's
I
like
guess.
wrinkled and stuff.
I couldn't decide if that was like a cop out or not because I thought it was going to change into a whole different creature.
I thought so too. So maybe, I don't know, maybe like there are steps in the transformation.
But doesn't he?
Maybe.
Travis tells them that once he has his first bite, he just completely changes and it's really fast. Like it's all
It's
over.
true. Yeah, I thought it was going to look
So that's what he is.
totally different.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But it's still
So,
creepy.
so Sam and Dean get to the house and they have their blowtorches and there's a bunch of blood everywhere. And in one particular spot, they see like a lot of blood and a drag mark behind the couch. And Sam and Dean follow it and find what's left of Travis. And they're like, guess you were right about Jack. And just then, Jack takes down Dean. Sam tries to get the blowtorch or like tries to shoot it, but it doesn't go off. So Sam gets knocked
Smacked in the face really fucking hard.
Yeah.
I was
He's
like,
just getting
ow,
hit.
shit.
This is like his third time getting like hit in the face.
Yeah.
Like the first two was from Dean,
Yeah,
like
and
in
this one's like
episode.
a heavy metal canister like smacked into his head. I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah. So
Like,
he's
I felt
obviously
that.
like knocked out. And Jack manages to like drag his enormous 6'4" body
His
into a
giant
closet.
ass.
And we see like Sam wake up in the closet. He starts yelling through the door. Jack tells Sam to calm down. His brother is alive. And he says he can't trust them though, because he sent their friend over, Travis. And he tried to burn his wife alive. And Sam's like, why? Why would he do that? And then Jack lies.
Yes.
Very smart.
He's still protecting her.
Yes,
He's
and still protecting his unborn child.
Yeah.
And he lies and says he doesn't know why.
Yeah, he says like he didn't say or something.
Yeah.
Sweetie.
And I don't think I mentioned this, but I think Dean is like knocked out on the table. So he's like laid out on a table, ready for Jack to eat him if he wants to. So meanwhile, Sam's just like talking to him, trying to, keep the conversation going. He grabs a hanger and tries to unlock the door from the inside. And he says, to him, it doesn't matter what you are, it only matters what you do. But Jack's not really listening. He's inching closer to Dean like he's going to take a bite. And finally, Sam breaks through the door and torches his ass. And that's
So
it. And
sad.
that's the end of Jack. So we see Sam and Dean are driving back, and Sam says he can't explain it. He has to deal with it, his whatever's inside of him, because it's not inside of Dean, it's inside of him. So Dean won't understand. He says, but the powers, it's like playing with fire, and he's done with it all. And Dean kind of like asks him, why are you deciding this? And he says it's his choice. Like he wants to do this. He wants to give up his
I think
powers.
he says like thank you, and he's like, don't thank me, it's not for you.
That's
It's for me. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely still felt through this episode that, and especially at the end, like because of this, like Sam's making that choice now because he doesn't want to end up like Jack.
yeah. Like he saw the consequences of what that looked like.
Right.
Although he doesn't know that anything like that would happen to him,
No,
you know?
but I think you're right in Dean telling him that, Castiel said that he shouldn't be doing it. So now it's like God is basically saying you shouldn't be doing this. That probably counted for a lot.
He doesn't care what Dean says, but he cares what
Yeah.
God says.
Yeah. You don't want to get on God's bad side.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. But that ends the episode. We do have two misty eyes in this episode, one from Sam and one from Dean. No son of a bitches. I'm curious to know how you feel about the ranking.
Well, it was a really good episode. Not super important to our overall plot. I mean, it was important in the sense that we kind of like got a check in about where Sam's powers were at, and Dean found out about them, and they worked that out. But it didn't really like move forward anything with Lilith or the really big stuff. It was just kind of a really good drama episode.
Yeah, it was a kind of a
Like,
character development,
yeah, kind of like
brother
Heart for
relationship.
me or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. It just was really emotional.
Yes.
Um, so I guess I kind of see it maybe around there. Um, like kind of around 15-ish.
Okay. So I will tell you that I had originally put down um around like 30-ish.
Okay.
But I mean, I can see where you're coming from with, I guess just because I didn't, maybe it's just I didn't like the Travis aspect, you know?
Mm.
It was just hard seeing another hunter who just didn't work out for us again.
Yeah, and it was hard for me too because they made us really like him. Like he showed up and was super nice to the boys and was like he just seemed like such a sweet, like kind of fatherly type, and like talking about the Rougarou in the past when he knew that like the little boy was going to be one too, but he didn't have it in him to kill a little boy.
Yeah.
Like Travis was a good guy and he got twisted at some point because of everything that he'd been through. So they made
Yeah.
me really
I
like
mean,
him. I was immediately like, I like this guy. I hope
mhm.
he sticks around and we have, or at least he's fine afterward. No, he doesn't die,
Yeah.
but he did.
And, if you think about it, he really just was trying to make the hard decision, because if he would have let Jack stay alive, or the kid that's in his, Jack's kid, how many people would die
Right.
because of that? It's
I
so
get
it's
it.
so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's sort of just added to like the drama for me.
Hmm.
So it just kind of got me.
So, I mean, I kind of like, based on our conversation, I kind of made my way up from 30. But like when you're talking about heart, and we have a very supernatural Christmas at number 23, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I
started going up the list from 30, and there are some good ones like right around like 20 through 25, really.
yeah. Um so I can kind of see it within that space, like
Mm-hmm.
either underneath a very supernatural Christmas to from there to underneath um well, maybe even above. Are you there? It feels very odd that a very supernatural Christmas is so low now. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, even though I loved it so much, I'm kind of comfortable where it is.
Maybe because it wasn't like an important episode, and
Yeah, it was
we
just
had some
fun
more
and well done.
important ones.
Mm-hmm. We have Devil's Trap, Home, Magnificent Seven. What if it was like the new
So
number 20? I don't know. Because I liked it better
yeah,
than Magnificent Seven.
yes, I did as well. Um,
But then
and
the
then number
next one is,
19 right
yeah,
now is Are You There, God? It's Me, Dean Winchester, which we didn't really like love.
yeah, it's true. But then we
It's
get into
so
some that I did
it's
like.
weird. Yeah. So I mean, I could potentially put this maybe as a new number 19 above Are You There, God? It's Me, Dean Winchester.
In My Time of Dying. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't like it better than that episode, I don't think. So, yeah, I could see the new
Yeah.
19.
Okay. That's what we'll do.
Okay.
And if it feels weird later on, we can just shift things around.
Yeah, we'll have a re rank maybe at the end of the season.
Yeah. All right. Well, this one's going in as the new number 19. And this one's going in the trunk.
Cool.
Cool. So, I'm really excited about the next episode. It's called Monster Movie. It's a very Joss Whedon-y type episode.
Yay!
So it's a lot of fun, which is kind of weird coming off of this very depressing episode.
Yeah, it was a real
Which
downer.
we see them do that though, right? They
Uh-huh.
kind of like play with our emotions like that. So I'm so excited about that. I know that we had put out a mailbag minisode last week. We do have a lot of emails and stuff from people to put out another one pretty soon. So that'll be coming out at some point within the next week or two, and it won't replace a regular episode. I think we agreed
Yeah,
it'll
it'll
just
just be
be
an addition to.
a double week.
Yeah, you'll get a double
Which
episode week.
I know. Um, but if you have any comments or whatever, any questions for us, or you have some research underneath your mattress with your KY that you want to send us, please send that to highwaytohellpodcast@gmail.com. You can also DM us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Highway to Hell Podcast. And you can also leave us a voicemail at 908-516-HELL, 908-516-4355. If you don't feel comfortable doing a voicemail because you think that you'll like mess up, do what Lane did and just record yourself and then cut it and edit it and send it to us as an MP3 on to our Gmail.
Yep.
That
That
worked
counts.
out. Yeah. So yeah, until next time, we'll see you on the highway to hell.
Bye.
Bye.